It's 12 o'clock. Thank you for joining us at this time. You're watching news analysis live on Politics and Business TV. The top stories: President Bola Tinubu executes policy directives to position Nigeria as preferred investment destination for the oil and gas sector in Africa. Federal government threatens to withdraw the licenses of power distribution companies in Nigeria. Federal government expresses worry over the delay in the delivery of 2,000 tractors to improve mechanized farming for farmers in Nigeria. We'll bring you details in a moment. To join us again. Right, welcome back. I am Omo Ifepi Sosemer, and our President Bola Tinubu has given policy directives to improve the investment climate and position Nigeria as the preferred investment destination for the oil and gas sector in Africa. In a statement issued yesterday by presidential spokesperson Ajuri Ngelale, said the latest move was in keeping with the president's dedicated effort to remove obstacles to investment in Nigeria, harness the nation's resources and diversify the economy for the benefit of all Nigerians. It noted that recognizing the urgency to accelerate investments, the president directed the introduction of fiscal incentives for non-associated gas, midstream and deep water development, a streamlining of contracting process to compress the contracting cycle to 6 months, and the application of a local content requirement without hindering investment or the cost competitiveness. Now, the Minister of Finance and Coordinated Minister of Economy, Wale Edun, has said the 22.7 trillion naira printed by the Central Bank of Nigeria through Ways and Means overdraft for the federal government from 2015 to 2023 under former President Muhammadu Buhari threw the country into the current inflation. Edun, who made the lamentation during an interface with the Senate Committee on Finance yesterday, said during the period, the printing of naira in trillions was carried out without any corresponding productive activities. According to him, the consequences of the 8 years of printing money without productivity is the high inflation confronting the nation at the moment. The Senate had 2 weeks ago resolved to prove the 30 trillion naira Ways and Means overdraft obtained and spent by the Buhari administration, when it further stated that the alleged reckless spending of the overdraft collected from the CBN under Godwin Emefiele largely accounted for the food and security crisis facing the country. The Red Chamber then resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the overdraft because the details of the spending were deliberately not made available to the National Assembly. The federal government has declared that it would withdraw the operating licenses of power distribution companies that were intentionally not supplying electricity to consumers across the country, leading to widespread blackouts in Nigeria. It stated that despite effort by the Federal Ministry of Power and Electricity generating companies, some discos were not distributing the power supplied to them by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, which had resulted in abysmal supply since this year. According to media reports, power supply across the country has been terrible since January 2024, as many towns and cities nationwide have been thrown into darkness for weeks due to the lack of electricity. In a post on his official X handle, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, lamented the poor supply of electricity across the country, stressing that this was despite efforts by the government in tackling the challenge. He, however, pointed out that findings by his ministry revealed that some power distribution companies were willfully not distributing electricity to end users in their various franchise areas. The House of Representatives has passed a bill seeking the establishment of the National Tax Crimes Commission to address revenue leakages in tax management and administration in the country. According to reports, the bill, which is sponsored by the Deputy Speaker of the House, Benjamin Kalu, and 8 other lawmakers, when established, seeks to checkmate irregularities in the assessment, reporting and remittance of taxes, prevent and tackle all tax-related infractions while simultaneously protecting the rights of taxpayers. Leading the debate on the general principles of the bill, a member representing Eleme Oyigbo Tai Federal Constituency in Rivers State, Felix Nweke, argued that the ability of a government to discharge services to the people is proportional to the availability of resources at its disposal. Nweke also maintained a poor tax governance system results in the people and businesses bearing the burden, as has been the case in Nigeria in the past few decades. You're watching news analysis live on Politics and Business TV. Still to come, with reports of a militia clash in Benue State, which has left no fewer than 30 people dead on Tuesday, the Senate gets set to meet with President Tinubu over the insecurity in the state and Nigeria at large. Plus, the political crisis in Edo State, from party politics to rift between the governor and his deputy, and even to who becomes the next governor, appears to be a front-burner discourse. But the State House of Assembly yesterday commenced proceedings to impeach embattled deputy governor of the state, Philip Shaibu. A candid conversation on this with the political analyst, Cosmas Ekpunobi, in a moment. Do join us again for these and more. Right, welcome back. You're watching News Analysis live on Politics and Business TV. Now, the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF Bauchi Chief Field Office, has called on stakeholders to invest in women to promote community health system in the country. Also, the fund cautioned women to avoid practicing child delivery at home in order to enhance their chances of survival during and even after delivery. UNICEF Bauchi Field Office said this at a 2-day media dialogue to celebrate the 2024 International Women's Day in Gombe. In his welcome remarks, the Chief UNICEF Bauchi Field Officer, Dr. Tushar, stated that the IWD is celebrated annually on March the 8th to honor achievements of women and promote women's rights worldwide. According to Tushar, ensuring gender equality and promoting women's well-being in all facets of life was paramount for building prosperous economies and fostering a healthy planet. The federal government has expressed worry over the delay in the delivery of 2,000 tractors to improve mechanized farming for farmers in Nigeria. According to reports, it stated that 500 of the tractors also have arrived the country by now, and really wondered why the firm that is in charge has not been able to deliver. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, who disclosed this in Abuja while speaking with the agricultural equipment manufacturer in charge, stated that by now, the first set of tractors ought to be delivered to meet up with promises made to Nigerian farmers. It would be recalled that the federal government signed a memorandum of understanding with John Dury in November 2023 for the supply of 2,000 tractors annually for the next 5 years. Kyari noted that there should be a quick action on the delivery of the tractors as the wet season is fast approaching, adding that there is need to quickly see the effect of the tractors for the benefit of farmers and the country at large. He stressed that to increase agricultural yields, there was the need for tractors, as it was very adequate for ramping up the production of food. The Senate yesterday said it will meet with President Bola Tinubu over the insecurity in Benue State and Nigeria at large. The resolution of the Senate followed the report of a militia clash in Benue State, which left no fewer than 30 people dead on Tuesday. The Senate resolution followed a motion titled Motion on the Continued Killings by Suspected Terrorists Parading as Herdsmen and Increasing Insecurity in Kwande, Ukum, Logo and Katsina Ala local government areas in the Benue Northeast Senatorial District of Benue State. The motion was brought by Senator Emmanuel Udende, representing Benue Northeast, on the matters of urgent public importance, pursuant to Orders 41 and 51 of the Senate Standing Orders 2023 as amended. Udende, in his lead debate, said that over 50 residents of the Logo and Katinala area of the state were killed by men who disguised as herders to unleash havoc on the communities. And now to other matters. From being denied access to the government house, fears of impeachment and face-off between him and his boss, the Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State, to the controversial outcome of the recently conducted gubernatorial party primary elections in the state, Philip Shaibu seems to be the subject of discourse as far as politics in Edo State is concerned. The latest development from Edo State speaks to a Wednesday plenary session yesterday, where the State House of Assembly commenced the proceedings to impeach embattled Deputy Governor of the state, Philip Shaibu. The majority leader of the State House of Assembly and member representing Ovia Northeast 1, a Charity Agwobaregian, who announced the state of the petition against the Deputy Governor, which dated March 5th, 2024, was endorsed by 21 out of the 24 lawmakers. The majority leader maintained that the number of lawmakers that signed the petition have met the required 2/3 as stipulated in the Constitution. He noted that the petition was based on allegations of perjury and divulging Edo State government secrets. The Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Blessing Agbebaku, has directed the Clerk of the House, Yahaya Omogbae, to serve the impeachment notice on Shaibu, further confirming that the Deputy Governor has been given 7 days to respond to the notice of impeachment. Joining me now to discuss this is a political affairs analyst and also a veteran journalist, Cosmas Ekpunobi. Good afternoon to you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon, my dear.
All right. Well, so much is going on in Edo State at the moment. Is this part of, politicking?
Well, it's part of politicking, but then I was thinking that by now there are certain things we would have overgrown over time, having practiced this democracy for 24 years or thereabout. There are certain things by now should have been jettisoned, and that Edo in particular has remained a flashpoint. If you remember even how Obaseki came into power, he has to fight what they called godfatherism, but godfatherism still played a very major role in determining who should fly the party flag this time around. Even Obaseki himself, that was a beneficiary of that end to godfatherism, is also trying to play godfatherism.
That same role.
That
but
same role.
I mean, one would begin to wonder, who is, the godfather of politics in Edo State?
Well, Edo State has a lot of political big weight, so you cannot really determine who is really in charge of the political soul of Edo State.
No, but when you talk about godfatherism in Edo State, fingers will want to point at the direction of...